Good morning and welcome to the weekly analysis. Today is August 16th, and we're just gonna dive in. So for GJ, um, or if anybody's looking for GJ, for the weekly, we know that and I know that Sean discussed we had this order block. We were looking for price to buy up. So when I go down to the daily, well, when I look to the left, if you trade imbalances, prices in your imbalance, um, I'm kind of looking for to keep buying, but based on this daily, it's looking like a buy to me. Um, you may get a pullback into, and I'm just looking based off of this structure here. Um, And let's go to the 4 hour. Wait a minute, let me go back to the daily real quick.
Hey Kim, you wouldn't consider that a chalk on the daily right there?
No.
Okay.
I look for candle close, not, I look for candle close below the low.
Yep,
And
it didn't close below. Okay, I didn't know. I was just wondering.
yeah.
Okay.
Um, so if I go down to the 4 hour, if I go down to the 4 hour, um, price tapped into this demand zone and pushed up into this supply zone and then push down. So, I mean, it could sell down some more, but I would just need to, I need confirmation for the sell. I need more confirmation for the sell. And maybe it'll sell down to um, this swing low. Let's see what the 1 hour is giving. So 1 hour, looking at the 1 hour, there's still structure here, right? There's still bullish structure. You have here, you have here, you have here. So price can tap into here and keep buying up. If I was looking for a sell, it would have to be um, somewhere up in this zone right here. If I were looking for a sell. But the structure is still kind of, the 1 hour structure is still slightly bullish. So um, yeah, it would need to come in here and shift structure before I consider the sell. And then the sell for me would be down to this low. So you're talking approximately 170 pips. Let me go back to the daily. Yeah, the daily's not giving much of nothing. But overall, it's still bullish to me. This looked like this was the break in the retest of this zone here. It bought up, didn't close above these highs. Um, so yeah, at this point, it's just gonna be ranging. Well, not ranging, but between the high and the between the swing high and the swing low. So yeah. So we're looking at maybe an alert um set around 199, 200, maybe around 200 to look for a shift and then a sell back down. But it's still a little bullish, 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 bullish.
Is it news next week, Ken?
Now, you know, I don't know that.
King, is it news next week?
Yeah, ask Kenya.
No, not Kenya. I don't know.
My news folk at? Because it's been in that little range for a little bit.
All I was saying, Kim, was that there's the 2 week order blocks closed, and so GJ has a 2 week bullish order block. So I mean, I can see the bullish activity before the sell down.
Yeah. So it has a 2 week order block. So it had a bear. This is weird. This must have been a gap or something right here. So there was a bearish order block, and now it's a bullish order block. Um, yeah, it's just it's still ranging because price didn't break or close above this high, and price did not close below this low. So, yeah. So for me, this was the swing. If I'm looking at the 2 week, although I never look at the 2 week, this is my swing, right? Price pulled back to this demand zone. So my profit would have been up to this high. So my guess is price is still buying up to that high. Um, Let me draw this right here, right quick. Now I at some point I am expecting a pullback. We have one, two. Um, so if I go down to my daily, is it? And I'm just going to narrow this down to this little daily supply zone here. And let me go back to, now that's the daily. I could go down a little even further. Um, so my guess is, wait a minute, where did I put it? Was that it? Weekly. Oh, here we go. So my guess is price is probably going to buy up into this zone right here, which is around 211, 211.5, um, which would create another level of structure, right? Before we get like a deep pullback. Now, we've had this last break of structure to the downside, and then we had this market structure shift. And then we had the break of this high, the break of, well, not quite break yet, of this high. So I would be expecting price just to buy up a little more before we get a pullback. There are some daily demand zones. One is here, which I would be expecting price to come back to, which I would like to see because that's probably going to be around the 78 or the 88. And then there's one here. So once price taps into, let's see, price is right here right now. Or maybe it'll come back here before it starts. There's a daily here. There's a daily demands, I mean supply zone here. And then there's a daily supply zone here. Okay, I just drew like 1,000 lines. Um, so there are three zones within the I guess the premium area that price could then start selling back down to these lows or these demand zones before pushing back up to this high that we was talking about. That's definitely possible. But yeah, for me, price is still bullish. So um I would be looking for buys. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Man, that
Um,
makes sense, Kim.
yeah. All right. Gold, and I'm just randomly picking stuff that's on my chart here. So for gold, gold is definitely consolidating. Um, you can see that it is creating lower highs, um, but it's also creating higher lows. So, um, based on market structure, you had this pullback and then this push up. So, of course, price is still bullish. Um, and then price pulled back into this weekly demand zone. But like I said, right now it's just consolidating. Um,
Would that be considered a bullish flag, Kim?
I don't know. I don't know because I don't trade patterns.
Oh,
So I don't know if that's bullish, bearish. I don't know.
well, I
It's
think if it was
bullish.
bearish, it,
I ain't
It's
even gonna lie.
Will, it's bullish, man. It's gonna break out.
uh,
What time frame is this
Weekly.
chart?
This is on the weekly.
So
So,
generally the way that I look at those things when you're getting those higher highs and those lower lows that are compressing into the apex of that triangle.
hmm
Um I mean I kind of visualize how many more candles can fit into that triangle.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, I mean you're kind of guesstimating, but
Yeah, no, no, no. I am. That was a joke.
yeah, however many more candles can fit into that apex, kind of gives you a decent idea of when you're going to have your breakout, and just because, I guess I could be wrong. I would say I think it's bullish, but because of where we are, on the calendar, meaning August and September, which is usually kind of shitty, a shitty time of the year for assets. So, but my guess is that this is gonna, when it breaks out, it's gonna break to the upside. If it does break to the downside, it's going to bounce back and go higher.
Yes. So, and with that being said, so looking at market structure, right? I see that there was a break here, but then there was also, um, well, it's kind of bumping against this resistance of this resistance here. And then when I go down to even the daily, if I'm expecting price to respect the structure, I would want to price to come back down to this zone, right? This would be my daily demand zone. So if price pulled back, if price did decide to break, these lows or break out of this structure or break out of this flag or whatever it's called, um, I would then be looking for, this is where I would be looking to, I wouldn't sell because it's gold, right? But if I'm trading the way that I trade, then I would be looking for price to tap into this demand zone to then continue buying up to this, at least up to this high and or further. And that's at 44. So I would say at to 45. Oh, wait a minute. What did I just do? I'm sorry. I said 44 at the 35. Or if you fib the move from here to here, then we're talking at least 36.50. So that would be TP1 here, TP2 here, and if it's going to go higher to 38, that would be TP3. Any questions? Any questions? No questions? Okay. US 30. Let's go to the weekly. So, um, again, we have a strong level of resistance here. Price pulled back and gave a weekly bearish order block. Price has pulled back into that, has swept this high. So let's go to the daily. Um, Now I would have said this was structure. That was a break of structure. This is the swing high. This is the swing low. There was a market structure shift. But again, this is US 30. So let's go down to the 4-hour. So if I'm going to sell, I would need to see price close below this low here. And these candles, these 4-hour candles are dropping, but you're dropping into a 4-hour demand zone. So if price closes below, if I get a 4-hour close below this zone here, I would be looking to start selling back down to, let me go to my daily. I would be looking to sell back down. Well, I guess to this low here. There is a daily demand zone here, so price could sell there. There's another down here. As you can see, there is this structure here. So there's a possibility for it to sell back down to here. And then start buying back up. Yeah. This is where I would be looking to buy from. And again, if I'm going to sell it, I would need to see this 4-hour structure. I would need to see price close below this 4-hour structure. Any questions? None? Okay, good. GU. Based on the weekly, we had this higher time frame breakup structure here. So I would definitely be looking for price to buy back up into this zone here. In the meantime, we had this breakup structure here. We have this swing low here, and we currently have this swing high here. Okay. On the daily time frame, we then had this breakup structure here, this shift of structure here. So shift of structure for me, if you trade like Todd, your shift of structure started. Your shift of structure started here, right here. Um, for me, the shift of structure started here. So there were two possible zones, a zone here and a zone here. For me, this is my preferred zone. But you have, and it really just depends on where you see the breaker structure or where you see the market structure shift. Let me just say that. So, based on this daily, if you're trading, the way Todd's strategy was a sweep of the daily high, of this high. It was a sweep, right? So then I would need to go down to the 4-hour and see a shift in structure. So you have this structure here. Lower time frame, there was a shift on was there a shift on the 1-hour? There was a little shift on the 1-hour, but on the 4-hour, there's a shift here. And then, and I'm just gonna do, and this was the supply zone, and I'm gonna delete this right here. So that was the supply zone. Price tapped it. However, you still have to look at market structure, right? Price came here and then price went up here. So to look for a sell, I would need to see a close below this low, this internal low. So, and if price closes below here and continues to sell, this would be the structure here, here. If price closes below here and keeps selling and closes below this low, then you can look for the pullback to then sell back down to here or continue selling down to these low, to this demand zone. And that was all because there were two possible zones daily. There were two possible daily zones. This one being one, and then this one being one, and then this one being the second one. So price needs to close below, pull back, and continue selling, or it's going to pull back and then keep buying to this zone for the sell.
And where did you say it was selling to, Kim?
Or the sell of this structure. I would be looking for it to pull back to the 78 or 88.
And how does that target align with the 6-month golden zone?
I don't know. Um, 6-month golden zone. I guess it's the same thing. Yeah, see, I don't go this far, but I mean, it's the same thing. So,
It looks like it already hit the golden zone, so I don't know.
so if you're,
Because it looks like you're trying to take it to the low. Oh, it
no,
didn't. It
mm-mm.
didn't. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, so I won't be selling it, but I will look for, well, let me not say I won't be selling it. We are in a sell or looking for a sell in the group, but we're only looking for a short-term sell, and then we'll look for the buy. But that was based off pretty much our weekly structure. To And then all these zones have been mitigated. So that's
You looking for a buy back up to the change of character for a continuation of a sell, right?
you say I'm looking for a buy?
A buy back up to that
No.
supply zone for it to keep selling.
No.
So you don't see this is bearish at all.
Huh?
Just I thought you guys were looking for a buy up to the top where you.
No, we're in this zone right here. So we're looking to see if we're going to sell it down to then buy it.
Right, to buy it where? To the
I
zone.
mean, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. We're looking to see if we're selling back down to this low. It all depends on which strategy you're trading. Okay. If you're trading tides, this was a structure, this was a structure.
Hmm.
If you're trading Kim, this is the structure. So price can come in, and it's clear that this is a daily supply zone. I have to respect that. I have to respect that this is a daily supply zone. So in order for me to trade all the way down to this low, like I have to see price come and one, break this daily zone here, then pull back to sell. Like I have to trade what I see. And what I'm seeing right now is just prices in this supply zone. Based on the four hour or even the one, not the based on the 4 hour, price hasn't broken this structure yet. So technically it's still in buy mode, technically. So we can sell it down to here, but until it closes below this low, it's just pretty much a sell to buy. So based on structure, this is pulling back here. Once it gets here, whatever the price, whatever the market shows me, then I can plan accordingly.
Okay, gotcha.
And so if it doesn't close below here, this 4 hour zone here, then it's going to be a buy up to this zone here. And if it's a buy up to this zone here, I will likely then set a limit. Let me mark off this 4 hour zone here. I can then set a limit for a sell.
Yeah, that's what I said. Sell from the top. Okay, yeah.
But you're if price shows something different here, this is not even a valid point. This is a
Yeah.
whole new point.
Okay.
So I have to see what the market gives me up in here. Now, for the daily, we saw the sweep, right? And it swept this daily high. It swept this daily high. So the only thing I can do is sell it back to this daily low. But as you can see on the daily, there is a demand zone. So price can come, take out this daily low, and then start buying back up. Like I have to trade it as I see it. So
Mhm.
once price pulls back into this zone, again, if it breaks below or closes below this zone, then we'll be looking for the pullback to continue selling to um, continue selling down to, I would sell it down to, what's this on the fib? I don't know, 50%, 50% on the fib that I just marked up.
Mhm.
Um,
The equal lows right there.
Yeah, there are equalos here. You have this demand zone here. You have this demand zone here. You have this demand zone here. Of course, that's the 78. So I would love for the price. So based on structure, like I said, I would want price to come back to the 78. That's where I would want to see price come back to then buy it up to the next level of structure. And then once price got there, then I would have to see what it's giving me before I
So if we do get the buy up to your supply zone, the highest level right there, you would comfortably sell it. So 50%, right?
if you get to buy up to here,
To oh, I can't see it. Let me zoom in. Um, yeah.
you're saying if you get the buy up to here,
Mm-hmm. You would stay in for the sale back down.
so I would definitely, and only because of market maker cycle, which you
Mm-hmm.
teach, but this is my third cycle, so I would need to see what price gives me because
Okay.
I'm price is likely going to break above this high.
Okay.
So price is likely going to break above this high. Now, it may tap into this zone and give some kind of pullback. And it all depends on what the structure is once price got up here. Once price gets up here, it all depends on what the structure is giving me. If price closed below, then I would get in for the sell to this demand zone. This demand zone is where I'm looking to buy from. Um,
If it breaks that high.
This demand zone is where I'm looking to go from here, at least to here or higher if price breaks above that zone.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm. This is the same thing that was on GJ back when me and Andrew was fighting. We're always fighting. We always fighting. Um, or was it GJ? I think it was GJ. Daily. I can't remember what it was. But anywho. Um, so yeah, like I have to trade what I see. And what I see right now is this, for me, structure, the market structure shift happened here. That means for me, anywhere between this low and this high is game for a pullback. but I need to see the shift happen somewhere in here before I consider the sell back down to these lows or this low at least. If if price respects this zone right here, then I need to see price break below this daily zone for a pullback to then continue selling. So although this is all fair game to me, price is still currently now in a currently in a premium zone. Anything between the 50%, 618, 78, 88 is considered the premium zone, right? So price is already in that zone. I just need for it to show me what it's going to do. And if I'm looking for day trades, I can just catch a few like this here, this tapped into here. Actually, we're kind of in this cell right here. But for confirmation,
I'm in that cell.
before I say abort mission, I need to see price close below this internal structure here. And then we'll take it down to this low here.
You said before you say abort mission, you're in a cell,
I'm
right?
gonna sell, but it still
Yeah.
hasn't broken, it hasn't shifted structure. So although we're in the cell,
You want to close it when it breaks structure for the pull?
no, if it shifts structure, we'll stay in it.
Oh,
If it doesn't shift the structure and I see some bullish momentum, we're going to get out in profit. We're going to take our profit and go.
yeah.
We'll wait and see what the market gives us.
Yeah, it's a 2 week bullish order block. I said if it go up and take up the 2 week bullish order block, it's gonna tap my hedge perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's probably your 50% 618 zone that you all mark up. And just for the sake of showing, there's your 50% right here. So yeah, well, I don't know what price is going to, like I said, price could pull back and then continue buying up. But I have to go with what the market is giving me at the time. I think it was last week, Sean mentioned that and this did buy up. It gave a little pullback and bought up. For me, it's still within a bearish weekly order block because I don't look for price to break the body. I need for price to break the high of a candle, which is the top of the wick. So, and it already swept this high. So uh, if it gives, I just have to wait for price to show me what it's going to do. Gotta wait for price to show me. And right now it's showing absolutely nothing other than this daily sweep with a bearish order block. I mean, with a bearish candle.
Y'all got in at the sweep of the daily.
No, we got in at the um once it shifted structure, yeah, I don't do sweeps unless shows me a break of structure, a shift in structure. Um,
Kim, what time frame do you wait for price to show you what it's gonna do? On what time frame?
I look at the 4 hour and the 1 hour.
Okay.
So on the 1 hour, it gave a little shift, but this 4 hour is still the structure that I see. Even on this right here, it's still the structure that I see.
So since it's giving you a shift on the 1 hour, what do you do next? Wait for the 4 hour?
No, we set our limit at the supply zone and say a prayer. No, I'm just kidding. We set our limit at the supply zone. Once you see a shift in structure, um, I just set my limit. But I still need confirmation of a shift, internal shift that price is going in my direction. So price is going because is selling down, but it's selling down into a demand zone. It's still selling. This is still the structure right here. This is still the push up right here. So we're still in this bullish structure until I get a shift. Then right now we're still kind of bullish. So once price gets here, if it starts to give me a shift in structure,
On the 15.
if I don't get no on this 1 hour,
Okay.
Yeah,
What
that's what I was asking too.
what if it don't break the 1 hour?
So
It gives you a
don't go
15.
down the time. Don't go down the time frame, Kim, to check if it changes structure.
no.
Okay.
The structure is the structure. So whether I go down in time frame or not, it's still going to be the structure. This right here is the 1 hour structure. So even if I go down to 15 minute, it is still the structure for me. You have this internal stuff, but price is still the structure. Even if I made this the structure, even if I said this was the break of structure here, right?
Mm,
Where's the swing low? It's right here.
yeah.
Now my load on went lower than it was before. So no, I don't. I only go to the 15 minute to look for my entries. So now just wait. Now we just have to wait and see what price is going to give us, what it's going to do. Whether it's going to break below here, then I can say, okay, team, we're in our sell, hold strong, and we're going to take our profit um to this demand zone or this low right here, actually. And it's 80 pips, but 80 pips is 80 pips. And then if price breaks below this zone here, then I know I'm looking for price to come in here. I look for a pullback, and then I can sell it down to to these zones. I can sell it back down to my um well, I would sell it back down to this demand zone right here.
I mean, another way to think about it, is this is a dollar pair. So when is the next? I think FOMC, is that the one where they set the interest rate, whether they hike or cut or leave them as is? Is that the meeting, Kim?
Um, you asking me?
Yeah, I think it's the
Eh,
FOMC meeting,
eh.
the one where Powell talks and yaps, and he's like, "I'm leaving the rates, or we're lowering the rates, or we're raising the rates."
Yes.
All
Right.
right. So I think the next one is around the 18th of September. So this is a dollar pair.
Mm-hmm.
So our rates are higher than most other folks in the world, which um, kind of explains why the what it doesn't explain it. So the pound is moving up generally against the dollar because
The
I
dollar
think
is dropping because the dollar
right,
is dropping.
and
Yes.
and I think the dollar is dropping because I think governments have got together and said, "Hey, we need the dollar to be weaker," But that's really kind of a moot point. But
But if I look at market structure, right? And y'all know this is why I don't even look at the damn news because I feel like it's all,
if don't cut me off, let me
oh,
finish.
sorry.
The market structure suggests that
Mm-hmm.
it needs to sell.
Mm-hmm.
So what all I'm simply suggesting here is you're probably gonna get you probably are gonna get a sell.
Wait a
Like
minute. On wait a minute. You're saying the market structure on what is
on the weekly
on
chart.
GU?
Yeah, on GU.
Okay. So I was looking at the Dixie, right? This is the
Uh,
Dixie. So, and looking at market structure, this is probably the dollar is probably pulling back to, if it pulls back to the 78, which means that GU should be buying, right? And then based on this weekly structure, so let's just say price is coming back to the 78.88, right? Then I look at this current weekly structure. This was the weekly structure here. So, so yes, based on here, price might buy back up into here. That means GU would be selling. And then once price bought back up into here, then I would be looking for a sell back down into my 78 or 88. So if that's the case, if the dollar is going to buy, yes, GU is going to sell.
So I have a question, and I know nobody can answer like when this stuff is gonna happen, but maybe it's a question for Sean. But the FOMC, you were talking about FOMC, and this past week, I saw an announcement. It was like breaking news on maybe Bloomberg or something like that, and it was like the there's an anticipated rate cut on September 18th, so that would align with the FOMC comment. There's an anticipated rate cut that's already priced into the markets. What does that mean?
so to me, that means stock markets, S&P, Nasdaq, to a lesser degree the Dow Jones, but I don't know that that necessarily means currency markets. When they're talking, when Bloomberg and those guys are talking, they're talking about the stock markets. They're not really talking about the GU currency pair, so to speak.
Even
So,
though it's a U?
well, it is, but they aren't they don't cover forex markets. So
No,
they're
well,
look
maybe it wasn't Bloomberg. It's the one that has like the currency pairs like on the right hand side, and then the people are just like talking the whole day.
Yeah, I guess the best my most honest answer is, I don't know. Um, I know a lot of that stuff was being priced into the stock markets because that's why they've been going up lately. Um, so you know, I don't know. I mean, the things are manipulated on a certain level, so it's just hard to say. I think over the longer term that, Trump wants a weaker dollar. We are going to get those rate cuts. So GU should go up over the longer term. I just wouldn't be surprised for it to go sideways to down until you get that rate cut.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the point that I'm making. I can't tell you exactly what'll happen. You got to kind of watch the price action, but from a fundamental standpoint, once you get the rate cut, combined with Trump investment wanting a weaker dollar, that pair should go up. But until you get that rate cut, you might get some sideways chop to downward action.
Sure.
So there's FOMC on Wednesday.
Here in August?
Yep, August 20th on Wednesday at 2 p.m.
He's not going to cut, though.
Meeting.
I don't. He's not going to cut in August, though. At least I don't
hold
think.
on. It's meeting minutes. So there's FOMC member Waller speaks, and then at 2 p.m. the meeting minutes come out. That's a red folder for Wednesday at 2 p.m.
So the minutes are different from the actual FOMC meeting. If I'm not mistaken, the minutes are from the last meeting. So
They
we're like
are.
anticipating the next FOMC.
You're right. They are different. I don't know exactly what the differences are, but it's not Powell coming out saying we're cutting or we're holding steady or we're hiking.
Yeah. It's not Powell speaking, it's Waller speaking.
Right. So, so again, maybe these meetings come out or these minutes come out next week and you get nasty downward price action, in the crypto markets and in the stock market, and maybe you kind of get ugly action into the next meeting in September. I don't know. I'm speculating, but just when I think about it being August and September, and we usually don't have good, positive, strong upward action, it just makes sense. Also, if we're going to go higher, if you believe in the power of three, at some point you're going to have to go down and take some lower liquidity from certain points for the markets to move higher. So I just wouldn't be shocked between now and call it the end of September to see downward, at best sideways chop solidation, and at worst some downward price action.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So with that being in alignment with the dollar, yes, I would be looking for the dollar is pushing up. I think a short-term push buy to sell. So that means I would be looking for this to sell to then buy. And then if news aligns with the technicals, then and base it off of market structure, I would be looking for price to pull back into the dollar to pull back into the 78 or 88. There's even a demand zone down here to then start buying up. But again, I'm only basing this off of technicals. I'm basing it off of this market structure. So that's what I see for GU. And that's based off of market structure. This was the structure. If I fib that move, like I said, I do believe price is probably going to break above here, or close above here, only because of market maker cycle. Price is already in the 78. It's about to tap the 8 or has tapped the 88. So maybe when the dollar starts buying, this will pull back based off of this structure, this weekly structure here, and then start buying. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I can't, I don't want to assume what's going to happen. I just have to trade based off of what I see on the market, on the charts. I just know we broke structure. It's time to reset itself. It's time for price to reset itself. So whether it's pulling back to the 50%, 618, 78, or 88, we're looking for price to reset itself. Oh, I had questions. My bad. Um, I don't know why I'm seeing that chat. Okay. Any other questions on GU? Let me chat. Here we go.
I actually wanted to just say something because I realized one of my mistakes when somebody asked a question earlier. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, so basically, somebody said, "What time frame do you look at?" And you answered them, and I think I was making the same mistake. So basically, I think we analyze a chart on the higher time frames, obviously the weekly, monthly, down to the 1 hour, right? But a lot of the times I do have my Nawaf does 30 minutes. A lot of the times I do have my chart on the 15, the one. I have like three screens. So the 1 minute, 15 minute, and then the 1 hour. So I'm looking at all of those. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I've just realized by looking at those 1 minute and 15 minutes, even if I do understand market structure, I may make mistakes because a lot of fake outs happen.
Mm-hmm.
The
Well, so this is the thing. And I have nothing against going to the 1 minute or 15 minute, but are
Mhm.
you going to, I mean, the 1 minute, the 5 minute or 1 minute, but are you going to the 5 minute or 1 minute when you're in your POI? Because that is where you're going to get screwed if you're not.
That's the thing. I'm in it all the time. So
Well, that's your problem. Here lies the problem,
Mhm.
Michael.
Exactly. This is
Yeah, so like I said, I am only going on the 15 minute for entry. Like I'm looking for, you only need to go to the 15 minute when it's in your POI,
mm,
or the 5 minute or the 1 minute.
mhm,
If you're looking for a market structure shift within your POI to get in for a bigger move,
mhm.
then it has to be in your POI. Any other time, you're asking to get screwed.
Okay, okay. Yeah, because I understand the market structure. It's just when I look at the 15 minute and 1 minute, it's totally different to when I look at the 1 hour. But the 1 hour always seems true. It always plays out how it's supposed to play out. But the
Mhm.
1 minute don't. This is why I'm trying to highlight the issue that I've just realized my fault so that other new people don't make the same mistake. So don't watch the 1 minute and don't watch the
Do
15 minute.
not watch the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 15 minute, if it's not in your POI. If price is not in my POI, so either my POI is down here or my PO, matter of fact, this would, so right here, once price, if price decides to buy back up into here, then I can get on my 15-minute. Like I already, now that I'm on the 15-minute, I can see right now price is about to buy up. I can see it, I see it, I see it, right? But I need for price to be in a zone that I've marked up. Matter of fact, now I've and so the only other time I go to the 15-minute, like I said, to find my entry is to narrow down my supply and demand zone. To narrow it down. If I don't narrow it down, then if I marked it up on the daily, if I mark this daily zone here, right? And then went to the 15-minute, I'm going to be sitting and not really because it's still the same. Or did I change it? Yeah, that's the same. So this is the daily zone. Oh no, I see what happened. And then the 15-minute. So my zone, I marked up the wrong zone. But so if price came up into here, there are going to be several supply zones, right? You got one here, you got one here, you got one here. Like it would be, and then this would require me to be sitting on the charts all day, wink, wink, um, waiting for something to happen. Okay. So you can set an alert on these and then go to the chart and then identify structure. And then if there's a shift in structure, you can trade from that zone. If there's no structure, if you see the structure, if you see that price pulls up into this zone, structure, 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 and your alert goes off. Who from the beginners class know what I do at this point? What would I do at this point? Because y'all know I ain't sitting on the chart waiting for nothing to happen.
You mean once your alert goes off?
What? Well, no, once the alert goes off, once this alert goes off, what do I do? What's the first thing I do based on this structure right here?
Drop down a time frame and then check.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
What do you do, Kim?
Answer the question, Sean. No, I'm just kidding.
I said, what do you do? I mean, I'm not in your beginners class. I mean, I know what I would do, but what would you
So
do?
I set an alert at the swing low. I set an alert at the swing high, and then I wait.
You know what I would do?
What? And not only do I set an alert, I set an alert to cross up, close bar. Okay. Then I set an alert to cross down, close bar. If one of these alerts go off, then I'm looking at the charts. If price close above, then I'm looking for buys. Back up, still looking for buys. If price close below here, then I'm looking for, if you trade like Todd, you're looking for an imbalance. If you trade like me, you're looking for a supply zone. And that's it.
I think that's a good idea because you know what I would do?
What? Just get in.
Well, I would count up them pips and decide, if it's too many for me to just
To hold on to.
yeah, or let's just say it was an acceptable amount,
Mm-hmm.
for a hedge or a stop loss. I just get in and go about my business. I do not have the patience to be, you know,
I'm with you. I'm with you, brother.
dicking around with these pairs, the way they move. So, but anyway, but I like your idea better than what I would do, what I have been doing.
So could you show me that cross up, cross down thing? Because I do alerts both where you place them, but what does cross up? Okay.
So it's usually on crossing.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime price crosses and closes a bar, whatever time frame you have that set on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's on the hour, if the bar closes, once the bar taps it and the bar closes on the 1 hour, it'll give you an alert.
Mm-hmm.
If it if it crosses up, bar
Hello.
close,
Come on, man.
that means if price crosses above here and a candle close, then it'll give you an alert. If the candle closes below here, candle close, then it'll give you an alert. So it won't alert you until the candle is closed, crossing up, or the candle is closed, crossing down.
And by this time, you in your premium, so you okay with the 15-minute structure, right?
Nah, I'm still gonna do the
Still
4 hour.
doing the hour?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Only time I'm gonna go to the 15 is to look for the entry.
Yeah. Don't do the hour. Trust me. Trust me. I've been doing this for a while. I've just
Look,
realized after you asked the question today, don't go to the 15-minute. You'll get confused.
and my is Alicia on here? Alicia. Alicia, no, she's not on here. Oh, yes, she is. Hey,
Is she?
Alicia. I guess it's Alicia has convinced me to wait for a 4 hour close. Okay.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. So if it's not a 4 hour close below, and people think they're going to miss the move because it's a 4 hour close below, we all know it's going to pull back, right? So and you're bettering your chances of being in the right trade if you just wait for a higher time frame move to happen.
Yeah,
For
that 4 hour, yeah. I watched all the pairs and I was like, wow, yeah, that is the 4 hours the one.
so now all of my alerts are set on the 4 hour bar close either above or below.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. I'm gonna use it.
So not the 1 hour, it's the 4 hour?
I look at the 1 hour, but I
Mm-hmm.
mean the 4 hour is going to give me confirmation. If it's on the 4 hour, it's on the 1 hour.
Okay. Okay, cool.
But sometimes it can be on the 1 hour and not the 4 hour.
Then wait for the 4 hour.
I'm waiting. I'm a believer. 4 hours. Okay. I'm a believer.
Makes sense. It makes sense.
Because on the 4 hour, like this is 15-minute, right? And this is where I'm only marking the 15-minute to look in my POI where price could possibly come back to. There is a whole supply zone here. I'm going to always call this the supply zone because this is always going to be my swing high. This is always going to be the high where I would need to cover, or the protected high that needs to be covered. So even if it's here, you have to protect this high. You have to protect that high. And unless price comes into this zone, give me a 4 hour shift of structure, then this is going to be my high. And you can still cover this. This is on this is 50, 55 pips, but for a currency pair, that's quite a bit. But so price is either going to come here, and now you're at 26 pips, or price is going to come here. So as price is coming into this zone, you identify your structure, you set an alert on your swing high, swing low, and wait for price to, or if you know what I'm going to say, buy until you can't buy no more, right? So once this structure happen, you can see if you have a demand zone here and keep buying up to here. Or if you're already in the trade, you have this demand zone, you know that you're still bullish. So if you decide you want to start moving your stop loss up some more, so if it does take you out, you will get stopped out in profit. But as long as structure is giving you bullish moves, you can continue to stay in your trade until it shows you otherwise. Now, if you're not moving your stop and say price came up to here, right? Say price came up into here, gave you bullish structure, and then shifted, you can set your TP for the buy that you're in, either at the, however you trade, at the imbalance or at the supply zone. You can set your TP for your buy and then an entry for your sell. That's how that works. So yes, 4 hour is the move. And that's going to be in my trading plan, and that's what I'm sticking to. Okay. All right. Any other questions or any other pair? UJ, I think somebody asked about UJ. So let's go to the weekly. UJ is I'm just looking at the structure. All right. This is my structure here. Boom, boom. Price has pulled into the supply zone. Price is selling down, right? But here's also a demand zone because price broke this internal structure here. So price can pull back to this demand and keep buying. Or price is going to close below there, and then you'll look for a pullback to keep selling. But as of right now, price is still. So now on the daily, you have some other structure. You have this structure here, price is in here. And although price could close below here, right? Higher time frame structure, the weekly, shows that price can pull back into this zone and then continue buying. Or like I said before, or price can close below this internal for a pullback to start selling. So that's what I see for UJ. When I look at the 4 hour, I'm looking at the current 4 hour structure. Price, price close below here, right? So now you have this structure here, this pullback, and then this break here. So, okay, there you go. So now that you had the break, price pulled back into this supply zone. Could it pull back into a little further? But right now, like there was nothing, everything has been mitigated right here. So I wouldn't expect it to go back up there, but it did pull back into this supply zone. So I would be expecting price to continue selling past this low. I would be looking for price to pull back into this zone. Based on the 4 hour, I have this demand zone. I have this demand zone. Okay, so I would be looking for price to pull back somewhere in between here to then show me a shift in structure to then start buying it back up to these highs. Again, if price comes into this zone and never shift structure and breaks this low, then we know we're looking for a pullback to then start selling even lower. Where to? That's a great question. But all I can immediately see that this is a strong level of support. So I will be looking for price to come to pull back and then at least buy into here. Maybe expect it to break these lows and then start selling some more. So based on higher time frame, if I go to the monthly, I see that we had a break of structure here that makes this our swing low. So if this is going to sell, this is likely going to come back and sell down to this low. Based off of monthly structure. And if price comes down here and does not break this low and start shifting structure, then you should be looking to buy back up to these highs. And if it is respecting the technicals, UJ should be selling. UJ should be selling to then buy based off of, and matter of fact, I'm going to go down even further because here is a demand zone that I would be looking for, not just the 78 or 88, but that demand zone at the 88, right? This is the demand zone. So I would be looking for, and that's a monthly, this is a monthly demand zone. So I would be looking for price to sell back down to this monthly demand zone. That means UJ should be selling to a zone. And then if it's going to buy, then it should buy back. It should be respecting structure. It should be respecting structure to buy back up to this high. Now, again, that's based off of structure. News can come and do something else. News can come, and if you look at the higher time frame, now this is when you have to just go high. You all go higher in when the time you all go higher time frame as in 2 week, 2 months or whatever. But when I look at the bigger picture, there is a break of structure, there is this swing high, and there's this swing low. So I see this monthly. So this right here could come up here, give us a double top or however you see it, and then start to sell back down to these lows again. You have to trade what you see. So if I'm analyzing this from the beginning, if I'm looking at the bigger picture from the beginning, price could come up to in here and then start selling back down to here. But it is in alignment with structure. Pulling back to here, buying up to here, and then crashing all the way down to here. But we shall see. I'll make sure I leave this amount of, yeah, I'll make sure I leave this marked up. So whenever we come back to revisit this, this will be marked up. I just did. Okay. So yeah. Any questions on UJ? G Chef? If I'm looking at structure, we can see we're in bearish structure, right? So right now, this is my structure from here to here to here. So price, as we see, is bearish. And right now it's just really consolidating. Let me turn this off. As we can see right now, it's really consolidating between here and here. Let's go to the daily. Price appears to be, so price, nothing is close below this low. Nothing is closed below this low. Nothing is closed below this low. We have daily internal structure, which is, actually it's here. Wait a minute. We've had this push down, this push up, and then this push down. So this, yeah. So we had this break of internal structure. Price pulled back to this zone here and then started breaking internal structure. So if I wanted to get in on this buy, if I miss this move, then I would be waiting for price to pull back to this structure here for the buy. At least up to this. Remember, it's in between, it's consolidating or has been consolidating since 2022 or 20 sometime, whatever, sometime in 2022. It has been consolidating in between this zone. So I would look for the pullback to buy up into this supply zone. How many pips is that? About 600. More than enough. More than enough. That's G Chef. Anything else anybody want to look at? I'm about to wrap it up because I got a girl.
Kim, did you do GA?
Oh,
If you did, then I'm going to check it on the replay.
I did not do GA, and Alicia said EC.
Thank you.
GA. So let's look at the weekly. Let's look at the bigger picture first. Okay, so we have this structure here. Price pull back, shift the structure. Price pull back, shift the structure. So current structure is, you gotta push up. This could be a push up and then here. Okay. So this would be my swing low. This would be my swing high. And of course, this is our breaker structure. So let's go down to the daily. So this looked like price pulled back into a discount, right? It gave a break of structure, and then it gave a shift in structure. So based on the shift in structure, I would be looking for price to pull back into the zone to then buy back up to these highs.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. You're welcome. And let's see, EC. Let's go to the monthly. Let's see something real quick. All right. And let me just mark up the 78 as well. I mean, the 88 as well. All right. So we have, let's go to the weekly. We have bullish structure currently. Push up, pull back, push up, pull back. This closed above this high, so this is a push up. Let's go to daily. So we have this breakup structure here. We have this swing low here. And price is probably going to, based on the daily, you zoom in, based on the daily, price could pull back into this daily order block to continue buying. So I would definitely be looking for price to pull back into this zone to keep buying based on the daily. If price decides to close below, then we'll be looking for the sell. But it's bullish, so I would be looking for bull for one. Hold on. Daily 4 hour. And hold on. Hold up. And let me put this where price currently is. Right here. Or the high. Weekly. Okay, so with that being said, here is a supply zone, and then here is the weekly high. And I'm going to delete this. So I would be looking for price to, oh, it's already done that. So it's already taken out the weekly high or swept the weekly high. And it has tapped into that supply zone. So you may get a pullback, but I don't think it's going to be a pullback to, you may start to get the pullback. You may start getting a shift in structure back to, and I'm just marking up this here, this zone here, because it's still bullish structure. And then there's a 4 hour demand zone here. And let me go to the 1 hour. So I would be looking for price to at least pull back to, but it would have to break this low first. It would have to break this low first. This 4 hour low.
Okay, thank you, Pam.
You're welcome. And if not, then it's going to keep going up to here, to this, whatever I marked up here. All right. Anything else?
Hey, Kim, can you check EN and GN, please?
EN. All right, EN. Let me look at the bigger picture. See what's going on. Okay. So EN, let's go to the weekly. This is my weekly structure here. Last week, price closed above the high. So I would be looking for price to pull back and to these highs as of right now. As of right now, I would be looking for buys. If I go to the 4-hour, and let me go back to the weekly so I can do this right. This is my breakup structure. This is my swing low. And this is my swing high. So if I go down to the daily, I need to put my magnet back on. If I go down to the daily and then the 4-hour, here's a 4-hour demand. Could be a little lower. Right here. And I don't see anything over here. But if you're looking for it to come here, you still have to cover this low, which is around 57 pips. 57, 60 pips. Okay, there we go. All right. So and this is the breaker structure. So if price sells back to the downside, I would be looking to buy in this discounted area, which is somewhere. I have a love-hate relationship with this magnet. It hasn't been started pulling back yet, so you can't really fib it yet until it starts pulling back. But that is around the 78-88 zone, so that would work for me. So until price starts pulling back, go to the 1-hour. Yeah, same thing. So yep, so you have to wait until price starts pulling back to mark your fib up properly. So that's what I see for EN. What was the other one?
GN.
EN?
GN.
All right, so we're looking for price to pull back. I would be looking for price to pull back. So there are two areas. This here because of this imbalance here. So if I go down to the weekly, and I go down to the daily. So based on this daily, price pulled back into both of our supply zones. You had a break of structure here. You have this shift in structure here. So I would be looking for price to pull back into. Now, I'm always looking for 78.88. It all depends on your trading plan. So I would be looking for price to pull back into this zone for a sell, for a continuation of a sell. And the sell, at least to the -27 is a demand zone. The -618, there's a demand zone, or right before it, there's a demand zone. But I would definitely be looking for price to pull back into this zone for a sell, even if it's just to the lows. Let's just do it from the 78. Even if it's just to the lows, it's 963 pips. So if you're buying it, you'll be waiting on a pullback to buy it up, but to also look for a sell, a buy to sell. That's what I see for GN. Anything else? Going once, going twice.
Thank you, Kim.
Welcome.
Hey, Kim.
Yes.
Is anybody interested in looking at stock charts?
Anybody?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Kim, since pull up the PayPal chart, PYPL, and put it on the monthly.
Let's see. PYPL.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to cancel them too. Why? What they doing? NASDAQ.
I don't remember exactly what they're doing. I need to research a little bit more, but the chart, if ever there was a buy chart, it's time to buy that stock, in my opinion.
So yeah, so we had a shift in structure here. This was our demand zone. Mm-hmm.
So investing and really trading is all risk reward. This thing's already fell down 80%, maybe 88% from its highs.
Mm-hmm.
It's clearly accumulating. So
Mm-hmm.
anybody interested in buying stocks with minimal downside, this is a candidate. It's a prime candidate.
Here's another shift in structure when it pulled back to the demand zone. Shifted structure. So here's another demand zone. So I definitely, if I was doing this, I would definitely look to buy it up to, since this was the higher, well, you had a few shifts in structure, right? This was the last one. So if you fib from here to here, I'm sure the 78 would be up in here somewhere, or even this supply zone here, which is around 277 bucks. So from 60, currently 60, wait a minute, 69 bucks to 277.
That's more than a 4x. And really, this thing is going back to all-time highs. But whatever. The point here is this is something that you wouldn't be chasing. It's a prime candidate.
Mm-hmm.
Kim, type in Lulu. Lulu.
The Lululemon.
Yep.
My daughter need to buy this. Much she be shopping in.
I think this thing is going to come down a little bit more, but this is another one.
And it's probably selling because you know Lulu got canceled. Anyway, that's okay. Yeah. So here currently.
Yeah, I think it may drop another 30.
So it may, based on structure, right? This is 1, 2. And it breaking structure here, it'll probably pull back up somewhere, maybe up in here, maybe up in here, and maybe sell a little more to, let me go to the monthly. I'm just going to say here, maybe come back and retest here.
Potentially. I mean, I think that I don't think it's going to come down that far, but
Or maybe to this, and maybe to this low.
right. I think that's probably going to be your lowest point. Maybe you don't get that low, but that's probably realistically going to be your lowest point. The point is, this is something that's not in the premium. It's in the discount.
Yeah.
You know, this is something to DCA into or thinking about DCA into.
Yeah. If it pulled back to 128, matter of fact, if it pulled back to 76, I'll be in it. But like I said, Lulu got canceled because of something. You know.
That
On
crap
TikTok. It's
doesn't
on
mean anything.
TikTok.
I mean, it doesn't mean anything.
And
That stock
Target.
is that
Let's see
stock
what
is
Target, let's see
back.
what Target's doing then. Let's see if that means anything. Target.
Yeah, I've never looked at their chart.
They got canceled too. You see them. You see them.
I hate to tell y'all, but
I mean, look,
Target Target is probably about time to buy that too. But
exactly.
you know, um,
Exactly.
do a BBAI,
You want a BBL? What? Wait a minute, hold on.
BBA, BBAI.
Um, wait a minute. Do I have let me put this on the list right quick. That's all I need to do. BBAI. Big Bear. Ew. So this was the break of structure. This was the swing high. This is the swing low. Right now, it is definitely um looking weird.
Yeah, that's a cup. That's a cup.
Mm,
You're in the handle phase.
what
This
kind of
is higher.
what kind of help? What kind
Put
of
put 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 it on the list.
so
It's something that
so
we can revisit, down the line, and we can just see. Just put
I
it
mean,
on your list.
so basically, yeah. So even with structure right now, it hasn't taken out this high, but it's definitely, taken out these highs. It has pulled back. If you trade imbalances, it's a pull back into an imbalance, right? If you trade demand, then it's pulled back into the demand. It's pulled back into your imbalance. Let's go down to the weekly. Let's go down to the daily. So right now, based on the daily, it's still slightly bearish, right? So it might pull and close this gap and maybe push down a little more to this daily zone here. But yeah, we'll put this on the list too. We shall put this on the list. Okay. All right.
Pull up Apple.
APPA, A,
AAPL.
APL. I knew it. So on the monthly, as you can see, price pulled into a dead zone and left the building. All right, let's go to the daily. So I would want to see price pull back at least to this, what's that, 205? As you see, it gave a shift in structure here. Would like to see a pullback or 205 or even pull back to 180 somewhere. But right now, based on structure, it could pull back into here and keep buying.
And if you go to the weekly chart,
Weekly. Mm-hmm.
you don't have moving averages on this chart, but if you was to put the 200 moving average on here, you would see that pullback in April is when Apple touched its 200 week moving average.
I don't know why it's not letting me do the moving average. I don't know.
So
Pullback. This pullback.
yeah, the April pullback. Those
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
those wicks went. The red one touched it, and the green one kind of went through it a little bit, but it came right off that 200 week moving averages, and it's going higher.
Yeah.
You know, Warren Buffett once said, if all you did was wait for stocks to pull back to the 200 period moving average, usually a daily or weekly,
Mm-hmm.
just bottom at there, you would make a lot of money.
I don't know why it's let me do indicators. I may have talked so bad about it. It don't want me to. It's not letting me.
Or maybe you just got a version. Maybe you didn't pay for the version that lets you do it. I mean, I don't know.
No, shade.
I'm just throwing out
Shade.
ideas.
Throwing out shade.
But
It's not.
yeah, the point here is there's a bunch of stuff that's in the buy zone, or it has a lot of room to run. Like I think Apple has come off of its bottom, its local bottom, but
Mhm.
it has still a lot of room to run. It's not like buying, Nvidia or Palantir.
At least to this high, at least to 260.
It's going higher than that. But I hear what you're saying, but it's going higher than that. Apple's chart looks like the Nasdaq's chart. It's just lower. It hasn't ran like the Nasdaq has or the S&P has.
Mm-hmm.
So these are plays that still got a lot of legs to run. And when you look at Trump's big beautiful bill, I know I keep referencing it. It talks about giveaways to tech corporations. That bill is why these charts look like they look.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just something to pay attention to. I know this is a trading group, but sometimes investing is better.
Yep.
That's all I'll bore everybody with at this point.
Price is currently in a supply zone, so this may be where the pullback happens a little bit. There's a gap in price here, so maybe it'll pull back to there. Maybe it'll pull back there, which would be the break and retest of um this level of resistance. break and retest back to here and then start buying. So yeah, I can see that. So maybe around 215, you can put some money into Apple. It may come down to 205, but eventually it's going to at least go up to 260.
Yeah, I think so. And I think with this being August and September, I can definitely, I wouldn't be surprised to see 205, at some point between now and the end of September. Kim, let's pull up one more circle. CRCL, they're a stablecoin company.
Oops.
And you can probably see it better if you use the daily chart.
Okay, I'm on the daily.
So they IPO'd back in June. They run from $30 up to, call it, 300.
So
Now you're getting the price retracement. We pulled back a little more than 62%, probably coming down.
It's probably at least coming to close this gap.
Yep.
Right. There is bearish structure right here. So it might pull back just a little bit, maybe not, to then sell to what, 134, if not 117, before buying back up to these highs.
Yep. So I would wait on this to drop a little bit more. This chart suggests that it is. But these are just some plays that you would be buying in the discount and minimizing your downside risk.
Yep.
If you believe that the stock market is going higher, these are probably the names that you want to be looking at least some of them.
Can you look at the Boeing chart real quick?
Boeing.
Yeah.
Save circle.
I know they were on strike.
But what is their
I don't know. I just typed in Boeing and then the NYSE one came up.
Am I spelling it right?
Yeah.
BOEN.
BOE.
That's it right there.
Oh, this one right here? Oh yeah.
I guess.
What's the ticker?
BO BA.
BA.
BO what?
BA.
Just BA.
The ticker is BA.
Oh, it's BA.
So is this one too high?
Well, yeah.
So I would say, yeah, I would say right now it's in a supply zone, right?
I didn't realize Boeing had recovered this much. I mean, I like those other charts better, it doesn't mean Boeing doesn't have a lot of upside. But Boeing it's higher than I would like to enter it at. I put it that way.
Yeah.
But it probably, the way the chart looks, I would guess it still has a lot of upside though.
And because of this impulsive move right here, because of this zone of resistance, because there is a supply zone here, my guess is that it will probably come here and at least sell back down to this little demand zone here, if not farther. But if I were to look to buy, I would start looking around 184, 175, somewhere around there to buy. So we have this, and let me just go down to the daily. There's this gap in price, so maybe it'll come back there before buying up 163. So I'm gonna leave this marked and we can, yeah, I did save it.
Hey, Kim, pull up Baba.
Baba. Okay, this is my last one. BABA.
Yeah.
Alibaba. What you ordering for Alibaba? Wait a minute. BABA. Ew.
Put it on the monthly chart.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. There's the equal lows right there, equal lows. But price has shifted structure above this high. This was the break of structure. This was the swing high. So I can see price coming back to this zone somewhere back here.
I don't think it's coming back there, but
Well, right.
This price is going to 320.
Well,
I'm
right
gonna tell
now
you
it
that.
is.
Yeah.
Right now it is. You have structure here, right? But you also have this supply zone here. So this just may be where the correction happens.
You're already seeing it.
Yeah, it is pulling back. But
I just don't think you're gonna get one as deep as where you got your lower red line or zone.
this is the
But
swing low now. This is the swing low right here. The overall, right? We're in this structure, but because price shifted, price broke structure here, that made this the swing low, right? And then this was the swing price. Wait a minute, this was the swing high. This was the swing high. So price can come anywhere in between these zones. I think it'll probably because there's liquidity right here. There's liquidity right here. So I can see price tapping into the zone and then pushing back up.
well, it's a game of speculation. You could be right. I could be right. It doesn't really matter. Larger point I'm trying to make here is this shit is going higher. You know,
No,
you're at the
I
lower
agree
end
with
of the
that.
cup.
I agree with that. I mean, it's still in this bullish structure, right? So, price could come here and keep buying up for
One other thing I've learned about price and a lot of, whether you're talking about a pair, a crypto, a stock, you
Mhm.
know, you had this is a monthly chart.
Yeah.
You have had probably years to accumulate this stock
Mhm.
at these lows.
Yep.
Price is not coming back to let you in at those lows, you know. So
It may not be this low right now because we're still in structure. But if I were to put my money on it, it would at least come back to what's that? 87
you
to
may
then
get that. You may get that.
buy up. Because if I start narrowing down that monthly supply zone, like that zone is gonna now keep narrowing down, right? So um and I would narrow it down to here, down to at least here. So I would be looking for price here, pull back, break, pull back, and then tap into that zone. So maybe once it hit there, it'll pull back and then take. But yeah, I would get in at 180 at 87. I would get in at 87.
And I saw somebody said Bitcoin and Ether pull back. They did pull back, and I don't know if they're still down or if they're chop solidating, whatever. But if they're if they're off those highs, it's probably a good idea to buy it. We're going higher. All of it is.
All right, y'all. I gotta go. I gotta be out of here and at by 2 o'clock. Oof, I need to be out of here by
Thank you, Kim. Thank you,
All right.
Sean.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Kim.
Thanks, Kim.
Thank you,
Bye.
Kim.
Welcome, welcome. See y'all.
Appreciate you. Bye bye.